Now, we're thinking, well, how do I actually talk about the gospel? How do I even bring up this conversation? Well, number 2, we need to learn to listen to their story first. We need to learn to their story. So when I used to work as a Bible college lecturer, it was always awkward, because, you meet someone, it's a Friday night, you're at a party, the music's going, that sort of thing, and you ask them what they do. I'm an accountant, I'm an engineer, and then they go, well, what do you do? And I say, I teach at a Bible college. It just goes silent because it's awkward. Because what's happened, we were in safe space, weren't we? We're talking about what you do. That's the phenomenal realm, They've asked me what I do. I teach in a Bible college. I've just dragged them kicking and screaming into the noumenal realm, the sacred realm, way before we were ready. Too early in the relationship. And so now we're way too awkward. We're like, well, what do we do? So what I do is I go, well, do you have a faith? So yes, we've ended up here way too quickly, but I'm going to give us permission to stay here if you want. Do you have a faith? And surveys show it's almost up to 4 out of 5 Aussies believe in a spiritual realm, believe in a supernatural God, and they believe in life after death. 4 out of 5 Aussies on surveys. Maybe 2 out of 3 younger Aussies, but 4 out of 5 Aussies. So every Aussie has his private belief of spirituality, a supernatural God. They probably pray and they believe in life after death, but they're just not allowed to talk about it. So now you're saying, hey, I'm going to give you permission to talk about the sacred realm. Do you have a faith? Do you pray? Might be another one you can ask. And they're pretty safe questions. And then they go, they go, no. I go, fine. They close the door. No problem. But if you say, do you have a faith? And they feel safe, they'll go, yes, I do. Now is your chance to listen to their story. So you say, well, tell me about your faith. And then they might say, well, I actually recently became a Buddhist. And you go, wow, you became a Buddhist. Tell me about that. How did that happen? Did you grow up in a Buddhist family? No. Well, tell me. So you get them telling you their story. How did they become a Buddhist? What things do you believe? What are your dreams, your plans? How do you want to raise your children? And then I say, well, when you go to the temple, what do you do in the temple? When you pray, how do you pray? What do you pray for? And you ask them as many questions as you can about their faith. And then you say, well, what if they're an atheist? Well, an atheist is also a faith position. You go, wow, you're an atheist. Tell me about that. How did you become an atheist? Were you always an atheist, or did you become an atheist? And then I go, well, I grew up in an atheist family. Not that makes me an atheist, but at the age of 16, I had to make a decision for myself, that sort of thing. Hasn't been easy. There are times it's challenging, but, So you go, wow, and tell me about the God you don't believe me in. Tell me about your atheist faith, because that's a faith position as well. So you get them talking as much as you can. And they think, wow, you are interested in what I believe. You're trying to understand what I believe. You're trying to empathize, feel the feeling that they're feeling. Go, wow, tell me how you feel about it. Get into the language of empathy. And slowly, now, everything's reciprocal. If you ask someone what they did on the weekend, what will they eventually do? What did you do on the weekend? And if you say, well, tell me about your faith, and they felt safe talking about it, what do you think they'll eventually do for you? They'll go, well, tell me about your faith. And if you let them go for 1 minute safely, they're going to give you 1 minute. If you let them go for 10 minutes, they'll let you go for 10 minutes. So your job here is to try get them going as long as you can. And what's fascinating is slowly, I don't do this all the time, but slowly people have been asking me to do this seminar. So just recently, a few months ago, they flew me to Adelaide to give this seminar, and I had to jump on this afternoon flight, 4 p.m. flight. At 7 p.m. I was going to be giving this thing in Adelaide, and I'm actually an introvert, all right? I'm a loud introvert. I need space. I need recharge time in private. So I thought, okay, I'm going to jump on a plane to Adelaide. I think it's 90 minutes. It's been rush. I can recharge. And so I went to sit in my seat, and before I could get the earbuds in, which is the international symbol for leave me alone, do not talk to me, the guy who I was sitting next to just turns to me and goes, oh, tell me, are you going to Adelaide for business or play? And I thought, oh, I so do not want to talk. I just need some space. And I'm just going to be in front of 100 people very soon. I just need some space. But I go, okay, business. And I quickly turn it. I say, well, why? Why are you going to Adelaide? I didn't want to talk about what I was doing. He goes, I've just come from Sydney. I'm going back to Adelaide. Adelaide is home. And Sydney, I just had to do some teaching. And then it was awkward silence. So I go, okay, well, what did you teach? You know, like, he goes, I just had to run a postgraduate seminar for doctors on radiology physics. And I thought, I can't believe it. 20 years ago, I sat that exam. So I said, you won't believe it. 20 years ago, I studied that. Okay, so now we're talking. I'm trying to keep him talking about himself. And then finally he goes, whoa, what are you doing in Adelaide? He goes, I'm giving a talk from the Bible. Exactly where I'm going to tell people what to do when this situation happens. So I said, I'm giving a talk from the Bible. And there's awkward silence. I'm like, okay. I'm going to be the world's biggest hypocrite if I don't do this. So I said to him, well, tell me, do you have a faith? And at that stage, he said, well, you know, I used to. I grew up in South Africa. I checked out Christianity. And that's when I realized it was a front for hate crimes against gay people. I thought, okay. Awkward. Then I said, well, tell me more. Tell me why you think this. And I got him going for 60 out of the 90 minutes, monologue. Just ask him, tell me more. Tell me why you feel this. Tell me why you believe this. Tell me more. So he went for 60 minutes. He told me he had a problem with Christianity because it was anti-science and he was a scientist. They were anti-gays. They're guilty of hate crimes. And aren't all religions the same anyway? And I just let him go. Yeah. Tell me more. Why you think this? Why? And finally, 60 minutes, there's this awkward silence. And he says, you haven't spoken yet. I said, yeah, okay. So then I said, well, would you like to hear what I think on these things? And he said, yes, tell me. So for the next 30 minutes, I got my chance to monologue, and I worked my way through all the things he talked about. But anyway, so I earned the right to speak by letting him feel safe to speak. He felt heard, he felt understood, he felt empathized. We didn't agree, but he let me go for 30 minutes and defend the Christian view on science, on other religions, and even on same-sex marriage. And it came out very cordial. We didn't argue. We even swapped contact details afterwards. So that went very well.